Joining me today to look at all things Fleetwood Town ahead of this weekend's matchup is Nappers from COD's Vlogs. Nappers, how the heck are you? Thanks for joining me.
I'm really good, thank you, mate. Thank you for having me on. Looking forward to talking about the game. Obviously, these games are coming quick and fast now, and obviously for the first 2 weeks of the season, with obviously League and Cup, it's been Saturday, Tuesday. We go into this game, and then it's a bit of a breather, then, isn't it? There's no midweek game next week, which is nice at the moment. But again, Saturday, our full attention turns to away at Pride Park, where we had a bit of glory last year, and we come into this game in need of a performance and to get something out of the game, really.
Yeah. So Nappers, talk to me about Fleetwood's start to the season. I don't think it's necessarily been great. 2 defeats, a draw in the first 3 league games, and a loss in the Carabao Cup. To be fair, Derby's not fared much better except for a win against Burton Albion. So talk to me a little bit about Fleetwood's start to the season in the COD Army and how they're doing this year.
Obviously, we only brought 4 players in the summer, and I still think we're massively short. Scott Brown wants to have 3 players. I think we need to add at least 5. In my opinion, I definitely agree with the fact we need a goalie, we don't need a goalie, a centre-half, a midfielder and a striker. Probably need, in my opinion, another striker and probably another sort of a left-back, really, because we've been struggling in that area. I know we've got a lad that's meant to coming back, but we got a decent point away at Carlisle. We didn't play well, and I was quite disappointed with the performance. I thought we were second best on the day. But again, newly promoted sides, you know how they are on the opening day, especially in front of the home supporters. It can be really difficult, and that was the way it fared. And then went away to Port Vale on the cup, and I wasn't too bothered the way the result went. I was just angry with the way we conceded 3 goals. And Fleetwood Town aren't the side that concede many goals under Scott Brown. We did the previous season, but last season we were very tight, resolute. We are difficult to watch anyway as it is, but we weren't conceding goals. And then Saturday against Cambridge, again, easy to play through. We must have conceded 7 or 8 big chances, and we didn't create any of our own. Against Bolton, the exact same. We make 4 or 5 mistakes. They punish us on 3 occasions. But on Tuesday, I thought after it went 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, we had chances after every goal, and we don't take them, they do. That's the difference in quality between a Bolton Wanderers and a Fleetwood Town Football Club at this moment in time. And that's been the kind of the reason for our difficult start. We can't take chances at this moment, and we're not keeping the clean sheets we once were. And we were getting away with a lot last season that at this moment in time we're not getting away with. And Bolton Wanderers got that little bit of class, but at times you got that little bit of luck that you get when you're at the top of the table.
What are the expectations, Nappers, this season for Fleetwood? Is it lower third? Are they trying to, obviously I think they would like to push on kind of to mid-table, but realistically, is this club trying to avoid relegation? Is that kind of how the season was set out to set up against?
We are Fleetwood Town, and the aim for every season, I don't care what anybody says, is to get to 50 points as quickly as possible. If we don't get there, we don't get there, and we've got to rely on other teams slipping up like we did the other season where we only got 40 points. And I don't want a season like that ever again, because it was absolutely horrible to watch. It was absolutely horrible to live through, and your week's being ruined, and football gets you, doesn't it, like that? And that's why I love it in so many aspects. The aim should be to try and get near to what we did last season, where I think we got 59 points and finished 13th. If we can better than that, I'll be happy. Do I think we're stronger than last year? I don't. Do I think we're weaker? I think our squad was bigger last year. That replicates the fact that we let 9 players go and we've brought 4 into the football club. So I think we are a little bit light on the ground at the moment in time. So as it stands, the aim should be to finish above that bottom 4, but there's no reason why this squad shouldn't be getting 60 points instead of 50.
Talk to me about Scott Brown, the manager. When he was a player, he was a very feisty character, I think, to say the least. Has he mellowed a little bit as a manager? And tactically, how does he like to set Fleetwood up to attack, or how does he like to set teams up for matches at Fleetwood?
Well, Scott Brown, obviously, I wouldn't say it was an act, but Scott Brown has got to be that warrior and that tough guy in a Celtic side. And around Celtic, he'll be that character. Now he's come away from home. He's come into an environment that he can walk down the street now. He can go into a pub without being, shouted at or abused at, or Rangers fans coming up to him or Celtic fans coming up to him. He can kind of, be himself a little bit more and be the family man that he is, and be, the mate he is to his friend, his family and his friends, and he's probably liking that. And obviously he's been at the football club a year now, and he has to learn on the job, which obviously is difficult to watch at times, but he's understanding. He likes to set his team up to be difficult to break down in a back three with five, with wing backs and 3 in midfield and 2 up front, and a player playing off another player up front as well. He likes, winning tackles in midfield. He likes being hard to play through, but also creating opportunities himself if he can. But we've been very hard to watch in the last in his tenure, really. At times, I can only remember maybe 3 or 4 good performances, but overall, you list what he's done. Yesterday, he was on course for his biggest ever defeat, and that was by 3 goals. Obviously, it didn't end that way. He's only ever lost by 2 goals or more 3 times, and twice of them has been in the last 3 to 4 days, haven't they? So, he's got to the 5th round of the Emirates FA Cup. We got knocked out in stoppage time against Burnley. Newly promoted Burnley as well. So he's done a decent enough job, but it's the performances that are starting to worry me.
How much pressure is Scott Brown under?
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all?
No pressure. Scott Brown, he's just signed a new deal. There's issues going on at the football club. There's no owner at this current state. Well, there might be, but us fans are currently in the lurch. I'd probably go as far to say he's got one of the safest jobs in the EFL at this moment in time, and he's warranted that after last season to be given time. Would I be sacking him now? Absolutely not, because there's nobody better than him at this moment in time that would come in and help Fleetwood. That he has got us resolute, and I do think he'll turn these, results around. We're talking off the back of 3 defeats, and you're 3-2, a bad performance, and we played well yesterday. We played all right at Port Vale, to be fair, so it's not like we've been playing dreadful. And Bolton Wanderers are top of the league. Bolton Wanderers will be there at the end of the season. There's a Cambridge one that really sticks in the throat. If we draw that, he's under. No one's ever mentioning or asking that question. So Fleetwood will be absolutely fine, I believe. And Scott Brown, I'd be very surprised if he was not a Fleetwood manager, unless he walked in the next 6 to 12 months.
Talk to me about a former Ram who's at Fleetwood now, Jack Marriott. He had his injury problems when he was at Derby. We saw him in fits and starts, but really, he never really amounted to, I think, what his potential was. He went back to Peterborough, and I know he's now at Fleetwood. What's the deal with Jack Marriott? Are we going to see him on Saturday?
Jack's a good player. Jack scores a lot of goals for us. He obviously, his goals last year, I think he scored 8 and 8 at the back end of last year. He scored, a couple of braces. He scored a hat-trick away at Accrington as well, which was fully deserved on the day. And he's a good player at this level if he's fit and he's hungry and he's given the right service. He'll go and score 15 to 20 goals in a Fleetwood Town side. And unfortunately, Jack, I think, wants to leave the football club, although he only came in January for big money for Fleetwood, £250,000 spent there. And Jack, I think, has had offers from other football clubs, maybe wants to move a bit closer to home, which I can understand. But my argument is why he's signing a long-term deal with Fleetwood in the January if you want to leave in the summer. So something that has obviously gone on there. He was hooked at half-time yesterday. He wasn't bad yesterday. He wasn't the worst on the pitch, believe me. He's pretty much our biggest goal threat. He's a good player. But in my aim, Jack Marriott will stay at the football club. Scott Brown has said that. If he wants to go, I'd let him go. I honestly believe that I'd rather have players that want to be here than and not maybe be as good than players that are very good at football. But I wouldn't say he's never put an effort in, because he does every game. He's one of our better players. But if his mind's not with it, I'd let him go for his own sake and his own, mental health.
That's a good point there. So, Nappers, when Fleetwood come to Pride Park on Saturday, who are the key players? Who are the star men that fans should be attuned to?
Josh Earl for me, mate. Again, a brick wall at the back. Rolls Royce again, young age, young, commanding. Everything you want in a player. A leader, commands his box and can move up the pitch as well. And obviously James Stockley's ill at this moment in time. Will he be back? He's another goal threat. Obviously, had that effort that hit the bar, and obviously your goalkeeper went into the back of the net last season as well. I'd obviously say Sean Mooney at right wing back is a threat going forward. And Jack Marriott is another one that you have to keep an eye out on for. Obviously, you know what he's capable of. And obviously, if he's given the opportunity in front of goal, 9 times out of 10, he usually takes it. And unfortunately, the last 2 games that he's had, two efforts, an effort in both games that he's just not quite taken. And but again, Jack Marriott is likely, as soon as he gets one, he goes like last season, he'll go and score, 7 or 8 in a row. It took him a while to get going last year with Jack Marriott, but as soon as he scored one, it was a tap in. It was the worst goal you'll ever see, but it was his first goal and settled any nerves. He only scored in the March. He joined in the January. So it took him a long time to get going. And if he can, get his first goal, I won't bet he won't score another one.
And you said there that Scott Brown prefers to play 3 with wing backs, 3 in midfield, and then 2. So 5-3-2 essentially. Where are the areas where Derby can really hurt Fleetwood? Where are the weaknesses in this Fleetwood side that Derby can potentially exploit?
At this moment in time, I'd say, a lot of the goals that have come in recently off the top have been crosses into the box. The 2 against Cambridge was a cross from the left-hand side, ball in, good save by the goalkeeper, carried on in. The second goal was a corner from the same side. The 3 yesterday were 3 goals from similar areas in the box and strikers not being marked. So I'd say cross into the box. When you play a back 3 with wing backs, obviously I know you play similar setup as well, so you can relate. You do concede a lot of chances with your wing backs going high up, and you play very high attacking wing backs as well with your Wards and your Forsyths and those types of players that can really hurt you, and that they've got real quality. And again, I'd probably say that is a key area. And obviously in midfield at this moment in time, that we're not kind of locking on, we're losing men and we're losing our individual battles, which isn't a very good thing to do. So when you're Fleetwood and you're chasing games.
So where can Fleetwood get at Derby? Where are the strength of this Fleetwood side that an under pressure Paul Warren would have to look to potentially stop them and snuff them out if they want to win this game?
I'd say the strikers, Stockley and Marriott, if they play, promise again, if they're given service, they are big physical players that are decent in front of goal and given a chance. I probably have to say there. I'd also have to say, Josh Hill at the back does look strong, but again hasn't anywhere near what he did at the back end of last year. But again, when you're not next to players that aren't quite as good as you, it's hard to be that big player as well. So there is a few positives up front, but after a few defeats, and if you asked me this a week ago, I'd probably be saying a lot of other areas. But 3 defeats in a week where you conceded 8 goals. And only scored the 3. I'd probably have to, relay on the old positives right now.
And Nappers, when the game comes round, 3:00 on Saturday at Pride Park, how are you viewing this game from a Fleetwood perspective, and as a football fan, how are you viewing this game, and how do you think this game is going to go and play out?
I think we've got absolutely nothing to lose and absolutely everything to gain, and all the pressure is on Derby, as it always is. You Derby County. Do I think Derby County have got the best squad in League One? No. I put you top of the league. Why? Because you're Derby County. Paul Warren is a master getting you out of this league. I know he's under pressure. He doesn't lose last night and he wins last night. All of a sudden then, Paul Warren's really doing something with this Derby side. And that's what one game can do when you're Derby County manager. And that is pressure as well. So all the pressure's on Derby. You're at home. You're against a side that are struggling. And Fleetwood did better last season against the better side. We took 4 points off Plymouth. We took 2 off Ipswich. We went to Wednesday away in the Cup and got a replay. We only lost by, more than 1 goal once last year, and that was to Wickham 2-0 at the end of March, really. So again, that just shows you how well we did last season. And I'm viewing this game as, if we get a point, brilliant. If we win the game, wow, what a result that is, and that can really kickstart us. If we lose and we stay in the game and we play okay, I'll be absolutely okay with that going into, Shrewsbury, and we've got some other tough games in Charlton and Blackpool then. So, again, if we lose a game, I wouldn't be too fussed, because Fleetwood Town are playing Derby in the league fixture. That would That still blows my mind. And again, obviously, that's down to Derby County being in League One where they shouldn't be at all due to their own ongoings. But they'll get back to where they belong, and I'm absolutely sure of that in their own time. And Fleetwood Town, do not belong in League One, but we're here and we're here on merit. So I'm viewing it as a good game. Looking forward to respect Derby a lot, but come Saturday, I hope we win the game and I hope we really get right at you.
Fair enough. Nappers from Cod's Vlogs. Nappers, thanks so much for taking a few minutes to chat about Fleetwood and the game at the weekend. Looking forward to it. I know Paul Warren's under a bit of pressure, so Derby need to go in and play in front of the home crowd and I think not only win the game, but put on a bit of a performance to do that. But by the same token, it does kind of boggle the mind that Fleetwood and Derby are playing each other in a league fixture. Nappers from Cod Vlogs. Nappers, thanks so much for taking the time, mate. Really appreciate it.
No problem, mate. Thank you very much.